Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Welcome to the Day 2 Virtual CA Students Conference 2021 with the theme Aptitude, Altitude and Attitude.
Now, I request Yatish Somshekar, Vice Chairman of Sikasa Bengaluru, to escort CA Panindra Gupta, Sikasa Chairman and student speaker for the session Information Technology, Grishma Kamath, onto the dais. With big round of applause. And welcome them with a flower bouquet. Now, I request CA Panindra Gupta, Sikasa Chairman, to welcome the gathering.
Hello students, I welcome for the day 2 of the CA Students Conference 2021 Aptitude, Attitude and Altitude. So student speaker Grishma, Sikasa Vice Chairman Yatish and other managing committee members of Bangalore branch and also Sikasa Bengaluru and Sikasa volunteers and students speakers. So I can able to see George, Harshita Kotari, Shanmuga Priya. Can you all please turn on your cameras so that let it be live. So I welcome each and every student speakers for today's session and my dear students. So actually today we had first interactive session with Student Skills Enrichment Board Chairman CA Jaichara sir, but he is in some other meeting. He will be joining us in a while. So after 5:15, 5:30. So we have just swapped first session, technical session to first, and then his session will be next. So technical session 3 is on information technology. So before that, I just wanted to present before you a small PPT. Okay, so education, as Swami Vivekananda sir told, education is not filling the mind with lot of facts. Perfecting the instrument and getting complete mastery of my own mind is the ideal of education. So, my dear students, always you should keep in mind. So, Vidya Danam Param Danam. So, if you gain education, knowledge, no one can steal from you. So if you have money, so anyone can steal. So if you have knowledge, so no one can steal from you. So this is the permanent knowledge what you acquire in your student life. So, and we should again thankful to our parents, elders for giving us this platform. So this education, whatever we are here. So you should remember your parents forever and thank your gurus also who has given education to you. So key highlights of CA profession, I just wanted to explain. It is a statutory body established in an act of parliament. ICA has 5 regions, 164 branches, 34 chapters abroad. ICA has more than 3 lakhs members and more than 6,75,000 active students. ICA is a premier accounting body in the country and second largest in the world. And Bangalore branch is the largest branch in India. And key highlights of our profession, as everyone are aware, there are no entry barriers. There is no capitalization fee. Like CA is the most affordable course, as everyone are aware. And you can earn as you learn. So you have 3 years and full experience and no concept of underemployment. So still market demands more CS chartered accountants in our profession. And CA is not tough. So it is reasonably standard being a professional exam. So it is not tough. It is not only about accounts. So you might be having awareness about so many things. So CA is a full power pack session with so many subjects inculcated in it. And CA is not all about maths, you are aware. And intelligence is not a must, but certainly if it is there, it will add value to you. And anyone can achieve CA if you have strong determination. And expertise is in English language is not a must. There is no college or university. So CA is not only recognized in India, but also globally recognized. And Indian chartered accountants are recognized in abroad also very well. So Prema Jaykumar. So as you are aware, like she is a auto rickshaw driver daughter. So she got all India first rank holder. So there is no this one what with least if she can achieve, so anyone can achieve. So with strong determination, and you can see like few blind student, first blind lady, CA Rajini Gopal. So she has also achieved CA. And again, J. Rajsekhar Reddy from AP, blind student, he's also achieved CA. And T. Stoll daughter, there are so many success stories. And CA Shankar Raman, gold medalist. And a very good friend of mine, CA Sunil Jain, practicing chartered accountant. So for achieving all these things, like so many students are achieving whatever they are desiring, whatever they are believing. But for so many students like that, there are so many students they are not able to achieve. So only difference what it makes like just on cross border. So if you get 40 marks and average 50 marks, you will pass. So if you get average 50 marks and if you get 60 marks, you will be last rank holder. And if you get 60 marks and 70 marks, you will be the first rank holder. So like that, you can just see small difference. So only thing is like whatever you wanted to do, so you got to believe in yourself. So it's not the color of the balloon that matters. It is what is inside that matters. So always know what you are capable of. So balloons are flying. So it is not just because they are lightweight or all those things. It's inside that the gas it is taking them to the higher and higher. So mantra for success. So hard work, commitment, dedication, and focus. With this, you'll be able to achieve success in your life. And steps to be a great student. So you should pursue passion and not marks. So if you are not able to pass it in this attempt, you will 100% pass it in next attempt. So you should not get demotivated by yourself. So you should definitely take what and all actions. So if you wanted to go from here to Mysore or from here to Hyderabad, so you should sit in a car and then press this one, start the car, and then you should take action by pressing accelerator. So if you keep on thinking like you wanted to go to Hyderabad, you will not go. So only thing is like you should take that first step, what and all action. That itself makes you to achieve whatever you wanted to be in your this one. And if you have any questions, so always you should ask questions and clarify. So do not procrastinate, set realistic goals, be humble, cultivate empathy for others. So make good friends to study in a group. So that will definitely add value for you to achieve success in your profession, and cultivate healthy habits. And with this, I just wanted to conclude my opening remarks, and all the very best for all the CS students. Even though it is pandemic, we are trying, this is the first virtual conference. So I hope all of you are enjoying the session, and we have Board of Studies, Student Skills Enrichment Board Chairman Jayacharya sir will be addressing, and also we have technical session on information technology, Anand Jangir sir, with two eminent speakers, student speakers, and MPV sir, so the most favorite, he will be addressing with other two student speakers. So, and then at last we'll be having quiz. So you'll be having boosted up, and you'll be given 5 gift vouchers. So please be ready for the quiz session at the end. and at last we'll be having validity session. And over to MC.
Thank you, sir, for motivating us and guiding us as always. What's up? Do you know whose WhatsApp status popped up on my screen last week?
Is it of Yatish, Panindra sir, Shubham,
No.
Lakshmi?
No, these are regular ones. I'm telling somebody out of the blue, just unexpectedly. It was WhatsApp itself. And the status read on some clarifications about privacy policies, you know.
Oh, is it? I have also heard on the same. The migration of the people to other messaging platforms shows the magnitude of the sensitivity towards data security and privacy. I am too very much interested on privacy purpose because it's mine. Why should I share it to others? Yes, that was the status which I too read about, not in detail.
When you say about privacy, data security, the one concept that comes to my mind is blockchain technology, which boasts of end-to-end encryption and whatnot. Aren't you interested to know more about this?
Yeah, why not? I am the student who is keen interested in blockchain technology and also very much inspired from our session chairman too, who is coming down today. So why to waste time? Let's move further. So I call upon Christy to take over the session on information technology. Over to you.
Thank you, MC. It has been appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. With this God, good evening to one and all virtually present here. Let me introduce the chairperson to you. He is a certified information system auditor, certified information system manager, and he is a part of ICA blockchain committee. He was the part of the risk management team at Goldman Sachs. He was with the ES Consulting Group at Infosys Limited, Bengaluru. He has been involved in enterprise risk management, implementation, and IT audit for many international projects at USA, UK, Japan, China, etc. Currently, he is a partner at Anand Jagdeep and Associates. His area of specialization includes governance, risk and compliance, enterprise risk management, project management, IT governance, and management audits. He is a visiting faculty for IIM Bengaluru. He has conducted many international workshops on enterprise risk management. Without further ado, let's welcome the tech savvy CA Anand Prakash Jagdeep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Privileged to have you, sir.
Thank you.
Let me introduce our first student speaker. She is a CA final student, a BCom graduate, and completed her articleship at Guru Anjana Chartered Accountants, Bengaluru. She has expertise in accounting, international taxation, indirect taxation, and corporate law. Let's give a huge round of applause for Ms. Grishma Kamath. Let me introduce our second speaker. He is a CA intermediate student, a graduate in BCom Honors from Christ Deemed to be University. He has expertise in information system audit, information system compliance, assessment of SOC and SOX controls, auditing in SAP Oracle environment. Let's give a huge round of applause for Mr. George Sunny. Over to the session chairperson.
Okay. Well, thank you, ma'am, and good evening to all. And thank you for this opportunity. It was pretty good. And this is the use of technology. I think 2020 has accelerated the use of technology, and I'm seeing all of us are now talking about remote audit and all the things. So I would just like to just give a 3 minutes. I've actually pointed out because I was going to the presentation of Grishma and George. Amazing presentation. I'm ready. I'm just telling you.
So sorry to interrupt in between. Could you please switch on your video?
Right? Can you see the video? It's on, right?
No.
I have shared the video.
It's because of the connectivity.
Give me a moment. I'm just a little outside. I'll just change the connectivity. Just a moment. Huh?
Sure, sir. Sure. Yes, sir. Good to
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
Thank-
So once again, good evening, everyone, and thanks a lot for this opportunity, friends. I just thought two of the student speaker for today. Amazing presentation they have worked on. It's something which is very interesting because the topic is mind-boggling because this is something which many chartered accountants are also trying to understand. And the second point which I would like to bring out here very clearly is the way they are going to present it up. I'm really excited to see that, and I have some remark which I have put it at the end. I would just like to talk about two things to all my student friends on why we should be so much paying attention to this two student speakers now. The first part is very important, which is they are talking about the digital era. And I'm sure Paninder sir, when he was telling me about this point, I was just to see how it is going to impact us. So the two things which I would like to tell you is all my friends who are attending it today, and I always tell in all my talks also, this is friends about what we call it about the impact of technology on our day-to-day affairs. We need to understand that. And the second point, which is very important, is blockchain, RPA, ML, and all these things, how they are going to impact our working. We need to understand that part also. So I would actually want them to present first, and then in the end, I want to summarize you with two very important points. So over to the student speakers, please present your deliberation, and then I would like to summarize it.
Today, technology is a booming market full of innovative products. One such innovative product is blockchain technology. My warm greetings to one and all present here. I am Grishma Kamath, a CA aspirant from Bangalore, here to throw some light on the topic blockchain technology. Before we go into the core concept, let me start with an example. Once, four friends decide to play cricket. After mutually agreeing upon to the rules of the games, they realize that they need to keep a record of the number of runs, balls, and wickets. A possible solution could be to call a person to an umpire, but there are few issues with this. All the data would be available only with the umpire, and then there are a high chance of loss of data as well as manipulation. All four friends would have to highly depend on this umpire. A possible alternative could be that each of the four friends maintain their record and update it after obtaining consensus. The first solution represents a centralized system, whereas the second mimics a decentralized system. Some of the disadvantages of centralized system include chances of loss of data, manipulation or tampering of data. It usually involves extra cost, and there is high dependency on the intermediary. All these disadvantages emphasize the necessity for a decentralized system, and blockchain technology is one such technology which works on the principles of decentralization. Let us quickly run through today's agenda. So first we'll be seeing what is blockchain, evolution of blockchain technology, what is blockchain technology and how does it work, one use case, types of blockchains, application of this technology, some highlights and drawbacks, relevance of this technology in our profession, and a small quiz session. Let us first understand what is blockchain. Blockchain is a type of database. As the name suggests, it is just a chain of blocks, and each block contains some information. These blocks are stringed together in the form of a chain. I've often seen people using Bitcoin and blockchain interchangeably, but let me clarify. Blockchain is the underlying data structure which can be used for many other things, and Bitcoin is one such application. Let us look at the evolution of blockchain technology. It all started in 1991 when a cryptographically secure chain of blocks is described for the first time by Stuart Haber and W. Scott. Further, in 2000, Stephen publishes his theory of cryptographic secured chains and ideas for its implementation. In 2008, developers working under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto released a white paper establishing the model for a blockchain. In the following year, they implement the first blockchain as the public ledger for transactions using Bitcoin. Since 2015, blockchain technology is separated from the currency and its potential in other areas is explored. Let us now understand what is blockchain technology. It is a technology that permits transactions to be gathered into blocks, cryptographically chains them in chronological order, and allows the resulting ledger to be accessed by different servers. Let us understand each of these points in the further slide. Let us first understand the structure of a block. It contains hash. Hash is nothing but a unique identifier of the block. It is like a fingerprint. Next, data. Any information which is stored on a block. It can be a transaction detail, any personal detail. But data once stored cannot be changed. That is, it is immutable. Hash of the previous block. This is used to string blocks. The blocks into a chain. This technology uses public key cryptography, which uses a pair of public key and a private key to perform different tasks. Public key is nothing but an address on the blockchain. It is similar to your email address, which is known to everyone, whereas a private key is a password that gives only the owner access to information. This technology works on the concept of distributed ledger. A distributed ledger is a ledger of any transaction or contract that is maintained in decentralized form across different locations and people. It is a peer-to-peer network. Each user here is referred to as a node. This reduces the cyber attacks and financial frauds. Let us now understand how a blockchain works and why data in blockchain is reliable. So there are 4 blocks containing data A, B, C, and D respectively. The top section represents the hash of the block, the middle section represents the data, and the lower section represents the hash of the previous block. The first block is called the Genesis block. Now let us assume that some hacker is manipulating the data in block 2. Now, as stated earlier, any change in the block would result in change in hash. So the connection between block 2 and block 3 is lost. If we further assume that he manipulates data in block 3 in such a way that the connection between the block 2 and block 3 is re-established, he is again back to square one because block 3 and block 4 now get disconnected. So this makes it really difficult for the hacker to manipulate data all along the chain. Moving a step further, if we still assume that the hacker is somehow able to chain the data and the chain is also intact, now the concept of distributed ledger comes into picture. As we know, a copy of the original data would be available at each and every node of the network. So a mismatch between the original data and this hacked data would alert all the nodes that there has been a possible attempt to hack the data. And hence, data here is reliable and it is very difficult for a hacker to manipulate the data. Let us see one of the use cases. Suppose Mr. A wishes to send ₹10 to Mr. B. He mentions their wallet addresses. These are nothing but their public keys. He encrypts it using his private key. It is similar to digitally signing it and indicating that Mr. A himself has initiated this transaction. The output is then transmitted all over the network using Mr. B's public key. This can be decrypted only by Mr. B's private key and hence Mr. B himself receives the amount. These transactions usually involve bank as the intermediary and hence we can here see that the intermediary is removed, thereby removing cost. Let us look at some of the types of blockchains. The first one being public blockchain. There are no access restrictions here. Anyone can join this chain. For example, Bitcoin blockchain and Ethereum blockchain. Private blockchains. It is a permissioned one. One cannot join it unless invited by the network administrators. For example, organizations usually have their own blockchains to store transactions. Hybrid blockchains. It's a combination of the first two. The exact workings of this chain can vary based upon which portions of this are centralized and decentralized. Let us look at some of the applications of blockchain technology. Payment processing and money transfers. This technology expedites the transfer of funds between two parties, and it removes the intermediary also, thereby reducing the cost. It helps in monitoring supply chains. Businesses can easily pinpoint their inefficiencies very quickly and locate their items on the supply chain on a real-time basis. Real estate, land and title transfers. Blockchains can store title records, allowing the transparent view of transfers as well as a clear picture on the legal ownership. Digital voting. Implementation of this technology can reduce voter frauds. This technology combines the ease of digital voting along with its immutability property so that a person's vote is truly counted. Tax regulation and compliance. Companies can use blockchains to store their transactions and demonstrate to lawmakers that they are in compliance with the laws of the land. Medical record keeping. These blockchains can store patients' records, thereby helping the medical sector to move away from the requirement of paper for record keeping. Few highlights of this technology include any ledger can be traced back to its origin since all blocks are chained together. It works on the principle of decentralization, hence the chance of loss of data is very negligible. The data recorded in blockchains are difficult to tamper with. It allows verifications without having to be dependent on third parties. Data once entered cannot be altered or deleted. It is immutable. The transactions that take place are transparent. It is obvious that when there are highlights, there are drawbacks too, since these two are two sides of the same coin. This technology can slow the process when there are too many users. It consumes a lot of energy. Implementation of this technology is a costly process. This technology is still in its premature stage and it is yet to be standardized. It suffers from interoperability issues too. Let us now look at the relevance of blockchain technology in our profession. Implementation of this technology provides a clarity over ownership of the assets as well as existence of obligations, thereby increasing efficiency. It has the potential to reduce the cost of maintaining and reconciling ledgers. It frees up resources to concentrate on planning and valuation rather than record keeping. As we know, data is reliable when it is stored on blockchain, and as auditors, it facilitates us to focus more on judgmental elements. For example, blockchain might make the existence of a debtor certain, but the recoverable value and economic worth would still need to be ascertained. Assets ownership might be verifiable by blockchain records, but its condition, location, true worth would still need to be assured. Let us have a small KBC session. But wait, KBC is not Kaun Banega Crorepati. It is knowledge of blockchain. So here's your question 1. I request all the attendees to reply using the chat box. Question 1. What does P2P stand for? A. Password to password. B. Peer to peer. C. Product to product. D. Private key to public key. Okay, I'm receiving many answers and it's right. B. Peer to peer. Question 2. What is a node? A type of cryptocurrency, a blockchain, a computer on a blockchain network, or an exchange? Yeah, and it's correct. It's C, a computer on blockchain network. Question 3 is based on a case study. By adopting this technology, a company has gained the ability to trace contaminated food, giving an opportunity to identify the source of foodborne illness outbreak and helps them organize more effective food records. Can you name this company? Okay, let me display the answer. It's Walmart. To conclude, blockchain technology is revolutionary. Yes, it will surely make our life simpler and safer, changing the way personal information is stored and how transactions are taken place. As future CS, it is important for us to keep ourselves informed about the new technological advancements and their implementation in business, since it paves way for new opportunities together with increased responsibilities. Thank you and a happy Republic Day.
Great. Thanks, Krishna. This was very nice. And I think everyone who was actually watching it, you would actually see the key takeaway from this. And, I have my concluding remark, but I'll keep it after, George also will finish it up. Great, Krishna. Nice presentation.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I have just put one link on the chat. Sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, I was on mute, guys. Grishma, it was a pretty interesting presentation. Thanks for that. And I just wanted to invite the second speaker for today to share it up. Grishma, I had some deliberation. I will be taking it to the last once George has taken it up. Okay, very good presentation, ma'am. Can we have the second speaker to share his thoughts, please?
Okay, can I stop my presentation?
George, would you like to share your screen and give it a presentation?
Yes, but I don't have your.
Yeah, I think we have to share with George. George, can you mute for a moment? Yeah, there's some disturbance. So can we give George access to share his screen because he has to present his presentation?
From actually,
Sorry, ma'am.
George, there is a lot of disturbance from your end. Could you just, kind of resolve it?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but there is a lot of disturbance in the background. Could you just
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
George, there's a lot of disturbance in your background. So what we request is if you can go to a quiet place. I'll take you 2 minutes time, just in a place, a little quieter. In the meantime, I will just share some thoughts out. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. Mutual. Okay, so by the time George, it happens, guys. Post this lockdown and COVID, I am actually attending around 6 to 7 Zoom calls or webinars or anything like that, and this kind of things do happen. So we'll give George 2 minutes time to basically go ahead and present his deliberation. In the meantime, I would just like to add 2 points, guys. This is something which I was actually waiting to share with you at the end, but because George is going to find a place and be ready for the call, presentation, I just thought I'll share it up now. And we should also make sure that your time is going well. So guys, I'm sure when you heard Grishma, some of you would have thought, why are we talking about blockchain? We are going to be chartered accountant. All of you are future chartered accountant. And when Phanindra sir asked me to come for this session, I never said no. First thing I said, yes, I'm coming, because see, I'm a chartered accountant and I work in technology field. And whatever happened in how I came in this field is one of this student conference I attended at Chennai. And that conference, I had a student speaker who actually presented on IS audit. And this is, I'm talking about in year 2001. Imagine IS audit at that time was something very new. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I should actually explore more. And I had made a career out of that. Why I would like you guys to go to is ICAI.org, and there is one body called DAB, Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. And you will see everything which we are talking right now, our student presenter. Institute of Chartered Accountant of India already sees that these are the future where they see use of chartered accountant. If you right now go and Google one word, blockchain and accountant, you will find that Many places they will say because of blockchain, accountants will become redundant, but it is not true. We are going to be there. I have shared with you a very interesting report, which I want all of you to do it. Why I tell you all of you to do it? Because see, I am now around 40 years old, and another 20 years or is what I'm going to work. But you guys have a future of job is there in your seat. And this is a report by World Economic Forum, which I've shared on the chat. I always tell about all the young chartered accountants and all of you future chartered accountants to please go through this report. You will understand and search for the word audit and accountant. You will understand what I'm trying to say. Even worldwide, it's not just India, worldwide, the role of accountant, or we call them professional accountant, IFAC, International Federation of Accountant, has used the word called professional accountant. It can be CPA, it can be chartered accountant, anyone who's out there, they are called as professional accountant. And the professional accountants are going to have a very different role. 10 years back when I was doing my articleship, it was a very different environment. When you guys are doing your articleship, it is a different environment. 10 years from now, it is going to have changed a lot. Have you noticed the kind of digital revolution we are going through? So many things are changing. So many, new industries are coming up. So many disruption is happening. Now, if we have to be relevant, all of you know the story of Nokia, right? What happened with Nokia? Nokia was one of the top leader at that point of time. They were the world's biggest smartphone maker. But they didn't see these things coming, the new technology advancement, which iPhone and other things got. And today, Nokia was sold off, but other companies are still there. Now, the adoption to technology is going to be the key. And I would suggest you one thing, because why I'm telling you guys to do it, in your office, you are the people who should be doing all this experimentation. And I'm sure all the chartered accountants are going to support you, because I did my articleship at a small and medium firm, and I remember I crashed I crashed 4 laptops, but my boss said I had crashed 5. It was 5th was someone else, my name came out there, I only crashed 4. But when you experiment, things will go wrong. It is okay, that's fine. But you have to do it. And you guys are the future of the profession, because if you guys don't experiment, don't go into this area, taxation is good, great. But now the taxation is going to change, because, Grishma has rightly said, there is digital taxation coming out picture. See the things, how the Amazon of the world and all they're working. It's no more the traditional way of looking at that. And here we need to understand that. Just one more thing I would just like to share with you, and I think George, I hope you are ready. That is, there is a fundamental issue with double entry system of bookkeeping. And that is why blockchain is now called as triple entry system of bookkeeping. I don't know how many of you know this. You can Google this word, triple entry system of bookkeeping. What happens is, all of you know, when we right now writing our examination, we write one very interesting thing. In the books of X, this is the entry. In the books of Y, this is the entry. But here, the entry is being passed by the same person. But what happened in real life? Anyone who has done an audit of retail business knows reconciliations are such a big problem. Banks, interbank reconciliation, big issues. It never reconciles. Okay. Now, blockchain is trying to say that I will make 3 entries. 1 entry in your books, 1 entry in my books, and the 3rd entry will make it in the blockchain, which is a repository which cannot be tampered with and which is shared with everyone. Okay. So I'll share more after George gives his deliberation. George, I hope you are good now. George,
you can unmute yourself.
Yeah.
I think there is some kind of disturbance in the background.
Am I audible, or is it too?
No, we are facing so much of background disturbance, so that I feel you need to shift to a different room. In the meanwhile, a kind request for Jangit sir. I request you to throw some light on the smart contract, your utilization in the blockchain technology field too, so at the end.
Sure. I think this George is facing some issue. I just shared one view more on that. The smart contract, as you rightly said, this is something which is going to be, actually what used to happen is, all of us know, that how does the payment happen? So, someone mentioned about SAP and all things. So we have 3-way contract: purchase order, goods receipt note, and then the 3rd item which we all know about is your invoice. And based on the 3 matching, we go for it. But all of you know, a lot of times the payment doesn't go. We have seen it up. All of you are, CA student, you understand it better what actually happened. And I'm telling you, guys, the 3 years articleship is very interesting because you get access to so much of information which otherwise it's not possible to do that. Now, smart contract is something where I can actually configure the blockchain to say, if this, then do that, which basically means if this condition is met, make the payment. If this condition is not met, don't make the payment. Now, this is going to change a lot of things, friends. I am telling you, blockchain, we do, I was on the committee on the blockchain. Institute is actually trying to bring out your, what is there on coming on a blockchain? Our results and our certificates, which are issued to us. Why? Because there are, I don't know how many of you know that, but there are around 300 cases of fake CA filed in 2020. Fake chartered accountant. There are a lot of fake chartered accountant who just make a, they will take my degree or someone Falindra sir's degree or anyone's degree and make it, and they are working in Mufassil area. So Institute is also trying to do it up, and I would only request you all of you to just go to the DAB site, which is on our Institute website only, Digital Accounting and Assurance Board. See what are the things they are doing, and all that things are going to be important for us. And guys, one more thing, which before George comes, and I can actually add one important point. My sincere request to you would be that whether you are doing, there is a kind of a word now we say, whatever you do, there is going to be digital disruption. My father is into business of, tea producing. He's into tea business and all things. Even that is disrupted by digital, which means now they are selling the tea not on the regular channels, they are selling on Amazon and Flipkart. Now, same thing is going to happen to us chartered accountant. Whatever you do, whether you're doing income tax practice, whether you're doing a GST practice, I'll just come to the GST part, which is very interesting. And George's presentation, he has talked about RPA. How many of you know that we used to all use Excel and we used to use something called as, macros long back, and it has been there for a long time. And today, I know personally around 5 chartered accountants who are using, RPA, robotic process automation, which is actually from a software called UiPath. You can easily download it up there, and you can automate all the things which is happening in GSTR matching and all the things. So the point which I'm trying to say is, whatever we do, think digital. You guys are going to the future, and I'm sure all of you are millennials, which is born after 1990s, and there is a kind of a very interesting thing about millennials. You know what is that? First, they are digitally very good, which you guys are, very nice, much better than old generation. And second, you guys are very lazy. Okay, I'm sorry to say that, but it is like, told as millennials are lazy and digitally active. So you should use it. If you are doing some work in your office, and you should think, well, why should I do it in the old way? Why can't I actually do it in the new way, using technology, faster, better, and I can have some more time to play some game. Now, OGS released today, I think, and some of you would have downloaded it also. But the point which is there,
So we lost you.
guys, can you hear me? There was
Yes, sir. Yes.
okay.
But
Okay,
your
great.
video-
George, I hope you are back.
But your video is off. Yes, sir, now fine.
Can you try, George, now?
George, could you unmute yourself?
No, I think, is there? Sure. Okay, there is, because I was going through the presentation which George has shared. It's very interesting. That just like Grishma, which has been done, I think it will be good if you can hear him. Or there may be sometime, this is called Murphy's Law. You don't expect things to go wrong, friends, but it happens sometimes.
We are reaching out to him, sir. I think he might join in few.
Yes, so I think then I can give my concluding remark, and will that be better, friends, if we can use the time effectively?
So no, I think we want
Wait for
George to present.
Yes. That's Yeah, he is there. George, you're there.
George, you can unmute yourself. George?
I think the video is stuck, but I think, yeah, I messaged him also. Let's hope he join that.
Okay, thank you. Hello.
Yes, George. Yeah.
Hi, is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, technical issues. Sorry for the disturbance, everyone.
You can go ahead. If
Uh,
anything happens, we'll interrupt you in between.
Please, if you're not able to hear me. Okay.
Sure, sure. Please go ahead.
Yes, I still don't have the option to share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Go ahead, George. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is George Sunny, and I'm from Kerala. I'm currently doing my CA article internship at Kenanco Chartered Accountant under CA Narasimhan sir. I completed my intermediate in the year 2019. So today, my presentation to you is going to be on the CA profession in the digital era. As we all know, the last few decades have seen a lot of technological innovations taking place around the world, and it has impacted every single aspect of our lives. Innovations such as the microchip, the personal computer, and the internet have revolutionized the way businesses have been conducted in the past. Now we see a new set of game-changing technologies coming about, and so as chartered accountants, it is important that we too gain an understanding about what these technologies are and how they are relevant to us. So today, let's look at some of these game-changing technologies. The first one is artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, as a technical definition, refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines. Though AI is a concept that seems to be new to us, coming into public view since IBM's Deep Blue defeating Garry Kasparov, the chess grandmaster, in 1997, it is actually a concept that's been around since computers themselves. Pioneers such as Ada Lovelace and Alan Turing have famously wondered whether machines would one day be able to think, not unlike our human being would think. An extension of artificial intelligence is machine learning. Machine
George, sorry.
learning is a type of artificial.
Your slides are
Yes?
not showing. It's not getting
What is
changed.
happening, sir?
It's in a constant loop.
Is it? Can you see now?
No, yeah, slide is visible, but there is no movement in those.
Oh, okay.
And also background, there's a bit of disturbance.
I don't think I'll be able to get a better background right now. But is it too bad, or can I continue?
Yeah, you can continue. Not an issue, but your slide is not moving. I think it's not getting changed.
Can you see my? Is the slide on machine learning right now?
Yeah, we are able to see only the CA professional in digital era. That's it.
Oh, okay. Can you see these now?
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Do you want me to start over, or can I start over? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can start.
Okay. I'm sorry for the disturbance, everyone. My name is George Sunny, and my presentation to you will be on the CA profession in the digital era. I'm from Kerala, and I'm currently pursuing my CA articleship at Kenanco Chartered Accountants under Narasimhan Ilangovan sir. I completed my intermediate in the year 2019. As we all know, the last 2 decades have seen a lot of technological innovations taking place around the world, and they've impacted every single aspect of our lives. Naturally, our CA profession is no exception to that. Innovations such as the microchip, the personal computer, and the internet once revolutionized the way that businesses and professions were conducted. Today, we have a new set of game-changing technologies that are impacting our businesses and lives. Let's look at a few of them which are relevant to us as chartered accountants. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is essentially the simulation of human intelligence in machines. Though AI may seem like a concept that has come into the public view recently, most notably since IBM's Deep Blue defeated Garry Kasparov at chess in 1990s, AI is actually a concept that is as old as computers themselves. Computing pioneers such as Ada Lovelace and Alan Turing have famously wondered whether machines would one day be able to actually think much like how a human being would think. Machine learning. Machine learning is a type of artificial intelligence wherein software applications are able to learn from experience using historical data in order to improve themselves without the need for explicit programming from the outside. It is essentially like how a human being would learn from his own experiences and past memories. In order to get an understanding of the power of machine learning and artificial intelligence, let's look at an event that happened not too far ago. You may not know that we may know that chess is a very complicated game, but there's a game that's even more complicated than chess. It is called Go. Go is a Chinese board game, and it is perhaps the most complicated game that human beings have ever invented. Recently, Google's AlphaGo defeated the 18-time world Go champion Lee Sedol at the Chinese game of Go. In the 5 rounds that were played, AlphaGo defeated Lee in 4 of them. There's an interesting documentary on Netflix if you'd like to learn more about it. Let's try and understand what this actually means. Artificial intelligence was able to defeat the world champion, the most intellectually complicated game that we have ever invented. That is the power of artificial intelligence. Let's see how we can use artificial intelligence in our day-to-day lives and practices. The automatic analysis of entire populations and sets of data, identifying patterns or exceptions and non-conformities, ML bots for reviewing contracts to check compliance with accounting standards, for example, operating leases and financial leases. A simple example could be, say if you notice a particular pattern of fraud or scam taking place in one organization or industry. Machine learning algorithms can learn from this scam and apply the same model in different industries and organizations without the need for human supervision at every step of the way. It greatly simplifies the process. Now let's look at the next system. Robotic process automation. Robotic process automation is often confused with artificial intelligence, but in reality, these robots are software routines that are more like sophisticated Excel macro spreadsheets. RPA systems develop the actions, that is, their performances, by watching the user perform these tasks in the application and then repeating them automatically. The difference between RPA and machine learning is that machine learning does not need a human to hold its hand, whereas robotic process automation does require human supervision. Now, how we use RPA in audit. RPA is commonly used where the process is entirely standardized based on predefined rules. Where the output of one financial process needs to be input into another, or multiple sources of information need to be consulted, RPA is very well in handy. Examples of day-to-day uses of RPA are processes or verifying monthly GST returns, periodic accounting, data entry by viewing physical documents, vouching of transactions, matching the ledgers to financial statements, etc. Next, let's look at the Internet of Things. I'm sure you all must have heard of them. The Internet of Things is essentially a system of interrelated computing, mechanical, and digital devices with the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human-to-human for human-to-computer interaction. It essentially means objects talking to each other. These devices can help transmit real-time information like tracking of inventories and assets, etc. IoT devices could be used for physical verification of inventory or large warehouses, assessing of mines, quarries, and audit of huge acres of land. I'd like you all to say hello to Spot. Spot is a robot dog designed by the company known as Boston Dynamics. Spot is specifically designed to gain access to areas and regions where it may be a little too dangerous for human beings to enter, like a burning building or a large construction site. Spot is able to relay real-time information to the user using its multiple sensors and cameras. It is able to navigate any kind of terrain and is under great development. If you'd like to see more, there are a lot of fun videos on YouTube you can check out. Next is smart contracts. As my previous colleague told you, blockchain is a technology that's revolutionizing the world. Smart contracts is a technology that takes advantage of the blockchain network. Essentially, a smart contract is a self-executing contract, the terms of which are written into the code which exists in the blockchain network. A technical definition would be a computer program or transaction protocol which is intended to automatically execute, control, or document legally relevant events and actions according to the terms of the contract or agreement. Let's look at an example. Suppose the government declares a drought. A smart contract can be programmed by insurance companies to automatically trigger payments to farmers who are in need of such payments due to the said drought. Essentially, this greatly simplifies human supervision over these areas where, and let's face it, these are areas where human beings do make a lot of mistakes. And finally, let's look at perhaps the most common or the most familiar of these topics, data analytics. Data analytics is essentially the science of analyzing raw data in order to make conclusions about the information. It can be used for testing complete sets of data rather than testing samples. This allows us to gain a more accurate understanding of the data and its implications, which may be slightly thought if we rely on samples. They can also be used for aiding risk assessment through identification of anomalies and trends, even through comparison not just of one organization, but the industry at large. It also provides audit evidence through comprehensive analysis of the organization's general ledger system. It may not be possible for a human being by himself to go through every single transaction, but our data analytics tool can greatly simplify that process. Now let's look at the risk assessment approaches. As chartered accountants, it is not enough that we understand what these technologies are, we must also understand the risks associated with them. So how do we approach risk assessment for all of these things? Let's go through a broad view. The first and most important is a step that we've been doing so far. It is to gain a holistic understanding of the changes in the industry and the information technology environment. Second, to clearly understand the problem in hand and see how the underlying technology is trying to achieve the result. It essentially means to understand what it is that the technology is trying to achieve and see if it is actually achieving that goal. The third is to focus on a top-down approach to identify the significant accounts and disclosures and their relevant assertions during the risk assessment process. Basically, that means that you must understand that some accounts may be more important than others and pay attention to them and how they relate to other accounts in order to simplify the process of risk assessment. And finally, consider whether specialized skills are necessary. If as an auditor you believe you do not currently hold the amount of technical knowledge necessary to make an accurate assessment, there is no harm in bringing in an external expert to consult on the same. Finally, let's look at how we too can, as chartered accountants, can implement these technologies in our own practices and take advantage of them. The first is to identify the needs. Identify the needs that are currently in your chartered accounting practice and see how technology can help in automating them. Second is to explore and research. There are plenty of resources available on the internet and many solutions to many different problems that we face today. Explore each one of them and find the best ones that are best suited for your requirements. Third, test before you commit. Even though on paper a new technology or solution does seem picture perfect, there may be hidden problems. Always make sure that you request a demonstration or a trial version before fully moving on to this technology. Fourth, develop standard procedures. Standard procedures help you and your employees to be able to produce consistent results, take on new technologies without being too intimidated by them. And finally, always measure the results. Evaluate whether the new technology has actually helped you in improving your product and your practice and see if it has actually been beneficial. Now, finally, I'd like to leave you with something that Sir said while I was scrambling around to find a Wi-Fi connection. Sir said that we've always been worried, we're currently worried that technology may actually replace us as chartered accountants. And I can say that that will never be the case. Throughout history, human beings have always benefited, and human beings and society have always benefited when technology and human beings have worked together. In fact, it is the same for technology in itself. When Gary Kasparov was defeated by IBM's Deep Blue, he made a very astute discovery. He realized that it is not just a machine or a grandmaster alone who can do the result, but the best chess games and the best strategies come when a chess grandmaster and an IBM Deep Blue and such supercomputers worked together. In fact, no grandmaster or supercomputer alone has ever defeated a symbiosis of computer and machine at chess, and that is true for every other area in the world. Thank you.
Thanks, George. Very nice celebration. I think George put it very well in his concluding remark. Friends, I will just try to share my view on both the speakers. Grish, George, amazing. Both of you actually brought out the points very well. I really like what Grishma said, and starting point of the example of the cricket match and how we want to have a score. And there was some disturbance for George also, but George rightly pointed out some of the very important factors. And very interestingly, he said one thing, and I would say as youngster, you guys need to actually take that forward. And that is something exploring things, trying out new things. For every problem statement which you can come out, there are solutions which are there. And as George rightly pointed out, those are the solutions which we have to think of. Many times what happens is, those chartered accountants are there, they may be not as tax savvy as you guys. And you can actually bring it out to the table, why don't we do it like that? So friends, to conclude, what I would like to bring it out here for all of you is technology is a friend for all of us. I remember the time when MCA 21 first time came, and I'm sure Panindra sir knows about the time when first time we heard a term digital signature. We thought digital signature is nothing but, you sign something on a paper and scan it, and that is digital signature. And from those times, we have come today where digital signatures, we understand it well, and we are signing even emails using digital signature. So we have come a long way. And as chartered accountant, the only reason we are relevant is we adapt to the new technologies and the new environment. Machine learning is going to change a lot of things. We use in our office all of these things, finding frauds in forensic reviews. These are all things which are going to do a lot of changes. And as future chartered accountant, we need to have you guys explore these technologies. So, ML, RPAs, all of these things are not something rocket science. Today, it is all democratized. You can actually go and download some of them and use it up, and it will cost you nothing, zero. Only the time which you're going to invest is going to be there. And so much of material is there on YouTube. So all these things are something which we need to look into, analyze, and take that forward. So I would request you all of friends, first of all, I would say a round of applause to both the speakers. They have, deliberated on that very well, and despite some challenges, they have actually brought it out very nicely. Thanks for all your hard work. And friends, please do chat with them, talk to them, ask them what are they doing, and this was something can be done. Okay, so back to the podium, please.
Branch of ICI and SICASA, we thank the section chairperson, CA Anand Prakash Jagdeep, for explaining us how the information technology is important in our daily life, and Ms. Grishma, who has got us through the world of blockchain technology and give us an insight on how blockchain technology works, and Mr. George, who has given us an insight on artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, data analytics, and so on. And on behalf of Bangalore branch of SICASA and of IC and SICASA, we thank you all these two speakers and CA Anand Prakash Jagdeep. Thank you so much, sir. Over to